Like, how do you end up traveling so much and like
Yeah.
uprooting yourself, like putting yourself in new uncharted territories? Like, how does that?
When I have something in my mind, I like to see it or go, I'm curious like that.
The world is so humongous. It's so huge that we can really be connected through a mutual story.
You learn so much about yourself and how you interact with people, but coming close to your own nature.
The more you experience, the more you explore, the layers actually come off. So then you find your true self and your authentic self. Hi semua MTFers, welcome back to our MTF podcast. Hari ini I have another co-host, nggak sama yang usual, Alia. She's taking a break today, but I'm very excited because one of my good friends from the Netherlands is here today and we're going to have a chit chat. So welcome today, Fitra. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you so much.
How are you feeling? What's your vibes today?
Better now.
Better?
I was jet lagged a little bit.
You
but
were jet lagged.
Yes.
So, context, Fitra tuh lagi nginep di rumah and setiap malam I'm always giving her melatonin. I'm just like, here's some melatonin, no jet lag. Karena you know sleep is so important. How important is sleep?
It is important. I need to
What is your belief on sleep?
your body just tells you that you need the sleep and it gives you the energy after. Otherwise, you cannot function.
I just believe sleep is so important. There's so much depth to it. There's the rest, the relaxation, like the quiet me time, and also your body is able to recover, right? So if you miss sleep, it's just a domino effect that like the next day will not be as great as it can be. So actually sleep is the potential for that coming day. You know what I mean?
And you're such a good coach on sleeping.
I do.
She's a sleep wizard.
I do. I really believe sleep is the answer to all our problems. If you're cranky, just sleep. If you're moody, just sleep. If you're hungry, just sleep. Okay, so what brings you to Jakarta? Because you live in the Netherlands. Maybe before we even ask you what you do here, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell the MTF world about who you are.
Okay, so I'm Fitra Umarella. I come from the Netherlands, born and raised. My roots are from the Maluku Islands. And I recently got married this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I worked a week in Spain before I came to Holland. And I work for an NGO called Free Girl. And they are an organization that are fighting sexual exploitation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I went to the Netherlands to see my family, and my sister is gonna do some internship here in Jakarta. So before that, we went to Umrah actually, and so I'm just on an adventure.
So you're on an adventure, a
Yeah.
world traveler,
Yes,
right? In the past, say, 2 weeks, you've been to California, US, Saudi, Ibiza, right?
Good pronunciation.
The Netherlands,
The Netherlands,
Indonesia. That's 6 countries.
Yeah,
That's 6 countries in the last 2 weeks
in the last 2 weeks,
or in the last month. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Is that usually how your life goes?
It has been, but I don't know how the actual marriage life
Will
I'll
make it
settle down
change.
a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, let's push them. Like you say, that's usually how it is.
Yeah.
Is it because you follow where the wind takes you? Or how do you end up traveling so much and uprooting yourself, putting yourself in new uncharted territories? How does that?
You describe it so well, but that's beautiful. But I think it's just when I have something in my mind, I like to see it or go. I'm curious like that.
Yeah.
And I feel exploring the world and traveling, it gains knowledge and experience. And I feel that's just how my life path always has been. And I think I am in a friends group that is also across the globe, Like you are, I
Here.
visited you
Yeah,
when
that's
you were
true.
like in America and when you had your wedding in Singapore,
That's true.
Jakarta.
Fitra and I have been friends for more than 20 years,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Since we were both in our teens or
Yeah.
maybe in our early 20s
Yeah. Well, no, before that.
before that.
Yeah.
That's
When I
so
was
crazy.
16.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have seen each other in New York,
Mhm.
in Spain, in Indonesia, Singapore, California.
Yeah.
So yeah, many. But I want to go back to your the wind where it takes you, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What have you learned? Like, what's the biggest lesson that you can share? Be as descriptive as possible. Like, what is the biggest lesson or what is the biggest learning for yourself for those people that maybe haven't
Mhm.
exploring across the world? Like, what have you learned and
Yeah.
why has that made you better?
I think you learn so much about yourself and how you interact with people, but coming close to your own nature. Because I think in life, there will be so much external influences, external factors that will make you in situations that you are this person, right? You're more lived. And then when you travel, you toss off all these layers and come
Wow.
back to yourself,
Wow.
to your fitra.
To your fitra. Oh my God. Amazing.
So you
So it's
undo. You undo.
so essentially the more you experience, the more you explore,
Mhm.
the layers actually come off. So then you find your true self and your authentic self.
Exactly.
It's so true though, because when you are stagnant in one place, more and more distractions you seek to entertain you.
Yeah.
But when you're exploring new things, those newness already entertains you. So you're allowed to like
Let go.
let go of your distractions. Think about that, guys.
Think about it.
That was deep.
You summarized it very well.
Right? That was deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so if you are young, and I know many of you guys are, like just explore.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it works or it helped me if you have your foundation in your faith.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like that Allah will take you
Yeah.
everywhere you go and will protect you. Or you at least hope so. So
Yeah. Inshallah. Right.
inshallah. So you feel closer to yourself.
Why do you think
and him.
people are afraid to explore?
It's because they are used to the being in the pond of
Mhm.
where they grew up in, or they're not familiar with what they could expect. Like they could be like risk calculators, or they could be there, or there's not like a system that would encourage them to go.
Yeah.
And usually your own voice would encourage you to like
Go.
explore. But if you don't have that, like I come from like a family that really is like be creative and
Yeah.
travel, see the world like that. So that makes us like
That was ingrained in you.
that is ingrained. I think my parents were very adventurous in that way,
Mhm.
and I saw that from a young age.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that they would take us to Indonesia for 6 months or to our islands,
Yeah.
and then they would just say like, "This is where you come from.
Yeah.
This is this is the food," or even if it's in the Netherlands in the weekends, they would like bring us and see and explore. Like have
Yeah.
a picnic together, and then we would be in the nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though you grew up far away from Indonesia, far away from
Yeah.
your roots,
Mhm.
they still instilled with you through their adventure, like Maluku is a
Yeah.
part of you.
Yes.
And therefore, it was very natural of you to belong home.
Yes.
Like that is actually a part of home as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe you can share with us, like, that was the roots of why you decided to launch this book.
Yeah. So I started a collaboration with a writer from Maluku, and we called it Awan Awan Maluku. So it's like the cloud thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And me born in Maluku and he born there, we had this idea of him keeping it in the language that we speak. It's Ambon Malayu. We say.
Okay.
And I would write from my perspective from the Netherlands,
Mhm.
bahasa, Dutch. I'm sorry. So, but then when we nyambung, actually, we saw that maybe the memory that we have of our islands is similar, but then he has more maybe a raw version because he really lives there, and I romanticize it because I just come there only for holidays
Right.
or for Idul Fitr, or
Yeah.
like
Or
or
your
a vacation.
right.
Yeah. But the feeling of home is really similar. So even though I was born there, uh, through the think clouds we see, actually it's not far from each other. So we have like one naval cord in
Yeah.
that way to
Yeah.
to our roots.
To your roots. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when you think about, it's been generations since any of your family actually lived there, right?
Yeah.
Like 2 generations.
Yeah. So
But-
from my grandfather's
Grandfather.
side. So I'm the third generation.
You're the 3rd generation
Yeah.
in the Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Yet you
Yeah.
still come back to Indonesia and you
Mhm.
still love Indonesia and you
Yeah.
love Maluku and the people. Like,
Yeah.
how come? Because I feel like a lot of other cultures,
Mhm.
after the 2nd generation, it's only a distant memory, right?
Mhm.
How did you still maintain that?
Part of me would say in our childhood we just grow up with the food, with the customs or traditions that our
Yeah.
parents told us or showed us, and then the part that they would bring us in a young age back to the kampong, and then we really like experienced the family feeling, the home feeling. And then when you go back to the Netherlands, you always feel like, okay, we're not really from the Netherlands,
Uh-huh.
even though, yeah, you're just born and raised there, but you're still like, there is this difference of how you do stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's really in your heart, but it's also something you cannot do anything about. It's just you being you and having the roots
Yeah.
coming from there. And
But I think it's also been the influence of your parents, right? Like
yeah,
the food that you cook, who you hang out with,
Yeah.
who they give you exposure to.
yeah,
So all of those little details created this memory
Mhm.
or this
footprint or
footprint.
imprint, maybe.
Yeah, this imprint of
Mhm.
Maluku. So tell us about this book. Like what what was your inspiration behind it?
So the inspiration is actually, I think, three of the poets or poetry. No, how to say? Three of them are from my mom's like stories. So she would have memories about the kampong where she lived there, or when she went into the sea or
Yeah.
fell off a tree or something. And then I would be like, oh, I have to write, I have to think about it, but because I like words and wordplay and sentences and like metaphors, I'll just write it a little bit in poem.
Yeah.
So, and then it grew further that I would think of like Gunung Salahutu, which is like a mountain there on our island of Ambon. And I would think of how I would greet the elder before, when you put one step in the kampong, everyone would greet you already because they would know your name, or
Yeah.
they would know this family and this
Yeah.
family. And that feeling of them knowing you or like recognizing you, that made me like, oh, that's a poem,
Yeah.
or like seeing the sunset or seeing. So all these nice memories makes actually the Awan Awan Maluku.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you share maybe like 2 lines of your favorite one?
Okay, so I think I have a short one here that it's Dutch though,
Okay.
because my
And then you translate it.
I translated. So this is actually the one that I said like that people will greet you or you will greet them because your
Yeah.
parents wants you to respect the elders first and that are still alive. So this one is called vertrouwd. It means like it's I vertrouwd. Hoe zeg je dat in het Engels? Oh yeah, sorry. A trusting environment.
Okay.
Sorry. So I'll just say it in Dutch first. Op die hoek woont die en die. Ga ze eerst groeten. Begroet ze in vrede. Geef ze aan dat je er bent. Zo klinkt de stem van mijn vader in mijn hoofd. De handen gaan omhoog voor de deur. Een dankgebed wordt gedaan voor het delen van een goed woord. De familielijn benoemd. niet overgeslagen, een glimp van hun gelaat, geliefd, vertrouwd. Ik neem plek op de veranda, het gehakkel en zoeken naar de woorden, Mama baik saja, alhamdulillah. So in English, I would say it is on that corner lives this person and this person. You have to greet them first. I hear the voice of my dad saying that. Go and greet them in salam, in peace. When they see you, the hands go up, because they would be like, Walaikum salam. And when they see you, they're always like, oh, mashallah, like, thank God that you're here.
Yeah.
Finally visiting us. They give a good word, like the kata-kata bagus. The whole family line won't be mentioned. So they will be saying, how's that brother? How's that sister? How's that?
Yes.
Through every door,
That's so true.
And then it says, you see the glimpse of their face. It's loving, it's trusting. And I would take place on their terrace because everyone would say, take a tea or, sit here and talk with me. And then it's me trying to find Indonesian words or bahasa, trying to find and say, and the only thing I would say like, yeah, mama baik saja. So this is a memory.
That's very cute. Yeah.
And then I have like a few of them also about my sister when we were like there for one day when my grandma got buried in the kampong, and that people were like, only one day, and like, and then I make like cross references to our other trips.
You were only there for one day?
Well, I was there one day with my sister, so it's like a memory. Like, remember, sis, we went there one day, and then the bridge, because there was like weather change, and then the bridge collapsed, and then, like, so it's like it takes you just into my mind thoughts, and then in a more maybe spiritual and
But one of the things that you had said earlier was writing this was very therapeutic for you as well, right?
Yeah.
And
it was.
What was the feelings you went through when you wrote this?
I think when you wanna finalize an idea, you really need to have the mental capacity and the headspace for it. And I was in that year that I was ready to finalize it. I had like a long period of vertigo, so I felt a little bit isolated. And then I was like, maybe I should focus on daydreaming about nice stuff. And then what I was thinking about is that my mind goes to actually the kampong, like to Maluku, to Leu, where I come from, the palm trees and the sea and, and the sound. So like, it is therapeutic because it made me feeling better.
Yeah.
And it actually covers my entire existence because I come there from little.
Yeah.
And now I haven't been in a while, but it's just a nice feeling. And I hope you would see it one day.
Yeah.
Because obviously we have so many islands and so many beaches and all those things, but it's always different from where you're rooted from.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, the process was sometimes you don't have anything, and then you go forward again. I think you recognize that too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think writing can be very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, that's a beautiful testament to your love of Maluku, I
Yeah.
think. And you walk away with knowing that there's still more that you're going to give to the experience and to your background,
Mhm.
So you
Yeah.
didn't just like leave, but you have that connection with your history.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
also actually want to give the people that are writing there the opportunity to know, like, it's possible to actually get a buddy from wherever we went to in the diaspora to
Yes.
connect and
Yeah.
write together and learn from each other.
Yeah.
It's not impossible to do that.
Yeah, definitely. It's not impossible. I think that the world is so humongous. It's so huge that we can really be connected through a mutual story and
Yes.
through a mutual experience and like
I agree.
appreciation and acknowledgement for where we end. We might have come from the same place, but we our journeys take us different places, and but we still have that commonality, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience before we close?
Well, we're gonna do a big launch in Ambon
Okay.
in January, and hopefully everyone that is there or sees this, you're welcome to come because we're gonna also do an introduction to a second
Ooh, a second book is coming.
poetry collection. So I think that's the teaser.
Yes.
And that's the line.
Very cool. Very cool. So watch out for this book. It's an amazing one. Awan Awan Maluku by Fitra Umarela and Eko Saputra Pocheratu.
Yes.
Pocheratu. Okay.
And thank you for giving this attention.
Of course. And I'm very proud of you for doing this. And for all you guys, MTF, want to learn more about Fitra and her writing buddy, reach out and buy the book. Okay, that's the most important thing. So thanks, Fitra. Thank you for being here. My love, my bestie. And we will see you guys soon at the next episode of MTF.